Hi, everyone. I'm Monsignor Jim Blonde. Welcome to Good News. Here she is, Karen Dager-Smith, everybody's favorite.
Hello. Oh, thanks.
How are you? All right.
I'm doing great, thank you.
You know, something that I don't talk about enough, I don't think,
Okay.
is about me. No. It's about Catholic Health Services.
Okay.
And I've been on the board of the hospitals for probably now, I'm thinking maybe 15 years altogether.
yeah.
And now I'm on the board of Catholic Health Services, like the macro board of everything, of all the healthcare institutions we have, you know?
Yeah.
I gotta say, they do an unbelievable job every day of the week. It is not easy, and I know you don't know about this directly, but it's not easy to run a healthcare institution in today's economy.
You know? Yeah.
And if you look throughout the country, like a lot of the Catholic health systems have pretty much folded up.
Really?
Because it's very hard to do this right, you know? And ours is growing and developing and every year getting, larger and larger. It's incredible.
What's the secret?
I'm not telling you. It's Captain Crunch for breakfast. No, it's just, it's this unbelievable ability. We have great leadership. We have a very strong board, and we have very dedicated staffs in every one of these facilities. I know that sounds like a line, sounds like I'm running for office, but it really is the truth.
Yeah.
And these people are committed to Catholic values, and it shows it makes a gigantic difference. So what we did recently is we just took on another hospital on Long Island.
Really?
Yeah, like not took on to find. I mean, we just purchased or we just made an agreement with a hospital to
that's
take them over.
exciting, right?
Yeah. So it's the name of the hospital is St. Joseph's Hospital.
Okay.
And it's located sort of like in the middle of the island, you know?
Yeah.
If you do everything via food, which I do, it's right near Zorn's. You know Zorn's, the chicken place? No, famous place. What's wrong with you? Well, it's right near there.
My niece, I'm not kidding, just had her tonsils out there.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And was it a good experience?
It was. I mean, she's hopping around like nothing ever happened.
Well,
A day later,
all
they
the ice
loved
cream you
the
could eat at all
experience.
Catholic hospitals. So.
And Slurpees. A lot of Slurpees she was getting.
So that's perfect. So it's a good thing.
Well, that's great. That's exciting.
Well, sometimes people say, like, why is the Catholic Church involved in healthcare?
Right.
But that's part of what Jesus did, like healing ministry. This is what it grew out of, is that Jesus throughout even any of the Gospels, but particularly you look in Luke, like he's always healing people and making people feel better, helping people to die well, in a sense, like people who are mourning and stuff like that. Blessed are those, who are mourning now, so you will know joy. All of that stuff is such an important thing for the life of faith, living the gospel. So we are involved for that reason. And we have, not only do we have all these hospitals and we have these nursing homes, but we also have like a hospice system called Good Shepherd Hospice. And we have a home care system called Catholic Home Care. Terrific things.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, terrific things. So we're going to take a look at the blessing of the new hospital, St. Joseph's Hospital.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah, and it really was
I've never
great.
seen something like that before. That sounds
it's wonderful. Yeah, they cut the ribbon and all of that stuff.
Really?
Yeah, so it's a really nice
Great.
thing. Now it's called St. Joseph's.
Joseph's.
And they're part of our family, and it's a wonderful thing
Very
for us.
exciting.
So, and it was like a wonderful thing for us to do. Really a great thing to get involved with. Second thing, we have a wonderful old friend of ours. A friend of ours who is not old, but a friend of ours who's an old friend who's been on a lot of shows with us.
Okay.
Marian Salenza.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I love her.
She's great.
And she's written a lot of books. She's written a lot of cookbooks.
That's right.
But more than just a cookbook. She's written books that talk about life and family,
she's
gathering
great.
around
and
the
she
table.
usually brings a little treat for us.
Well, we'll have to see what happens. I'm hoping and praying right now. But she's very funny and friendly.
She
and
is. She's lovely.
Great lady.
Good.
So she's here today, I think, with a new book, too.
Oh, how exciting.
It's going to be a fun show. We got a lot of good things
Can't
coming.
wait.
So we're going to visit with Marian. We're going to go to St. Joseph's, and
all right.
all will be well.
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's get going. It's my pleasure to welcome our first guest to the show. She's a dear friend of all of us here at Telecare because she always brings a lot of food. She's here to talk to us about her cookbooks. Please welcome Marian Salenza back to Good News. Marian, great to have you.
It's great to be back.
Thanks for being back with us.
We're so excited you're here.
Yeah, we're always glad to see you because, in addition to this, seriously, though, you just bring a sense of faith and fun with you everywhere you go. And
lots of
that's
energy.
wonderful,
I enjoy it very much. God has been wonderful to me, and it's phenomenally. Let me put it to you this way. The only disappointment, and I can't say it, but my husband, my parents are not here to see this. But because there's so much a part of it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have written those books if it weren't for my mother.
Yeah, sure.
And all her recipes that she's handed down, and my relatives and whatnot. And my husband, who just loved to eat.
Well, you know what it is? I think our legacy to them and our love for them is the work that we do now.
That's right.
And that's an important thing, So I think that's what you're doing is you're giving homage to them just by virtue of what you're doing.
I'm also having a wonderful time.
It doesn't look like you're miserable.
Very
I'll tell you the
selfish.
truth. It doesn't look like you're miserable, Marian. You look like you're having a good time.
No. I give 1 or 2 talks a year. It's been going on for 5 years now. I meet the greatest people. One gentleman at a talk I gave for the senior citizens at St. Pius, which are large group, about 120 people, 30 people, and they were coming up to purchase books after the talk. And this guy came to me and he said, you know, I think you could really do a great reality show on TV. And then he paused and he said, for old folks.
Well, Marion, I got to get you more business because you're a great speaker, and you could speak to groups and parishes. I mean, like that. I mean, you do wonderful stuff talking about the tradition of the table and family and all of that. It's very, very beautiful stuff that you do.
Well,
so,
I enjoy doing that.
Like Rosarians across the diocese, think about that wherever you are. Rosarians, you would enjoy this. Holy Names would enjoy this. I mean, there's a lot of good things. Communion breakfast.
I tell you another little story. One of the ushers, a young fella, who has been the fellow who comes and picks up the books that I distribute to our parish. Whenever I publish one, I always send my parish 100 books.
That's wonderful.
And they sell them. In fact, I have a deal with them now. I said, I think I know how we're going to really get these books going. I'm going to, I shouldn't say this online or on the air, but speak to my good pastor and find out if every $100 you want to gift to the church for Christmas, you'll get a book.
Wow, isn't that beautiful?
Nice.
I'm going to bring that up to him.
That's a great gift.
Not?
Yeah, that's a beautiful gift.
Anyhow, this young fellow usher who does take the books and brings them to the parish said, can I come with you and be on TV?
Well, they love you. I know they love you on Good News. Everybody always tells me they love you when you're on.
Yeah, well, I enjoy being on.
Yeah, and you're
And
fun.
I know Billy, and that's as far as I'm going to go. He'll be happy that I mention his name.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Sweet.
So let's talk about these books
the
now.
books.
This is your latest book, right?
That's right.
And this is called From the Table of Plenty, right?
Food for the Body, Manna for the Soul. It's an heirloom, inspirational family cookbook. There are over 600 recipes, menu style, 100
Amazing.
menus, including a pasta section.
And who took these great pictures, by the way?
Me.
Get out of here. Did you really?
Yeah.
I do all my photography.
Wow,
You
that's
did that really, huh?
incredible.
That makes me want to come to your house, Marion. I don't know. That looks pretty nice.
Anytime.
That looks pretty nice. I don't know.
Anytime.
Then we have, let's go through these quick. Then we have lunch in the bag.
Lunch is in
I
the
remember
bag.
that one.
Right. I even designed the cover. I made the cover from one of those leaf bags, a brown paper leaf bag.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I pasted it all. And I have a graphic artist who said, we're not going to do the letters from your paste up, but we'll do the rest of the idea.
Yeah.
And also some great photos in here, too, right?
Yes.
This is another one. Now, the first one.
That one was not done by me with the graphics. That was done by the professional publishing house that went bankrupt.
Okay.
Only the editor took it over, and I paid for everything. And she brought it to the original publishers.
And this is the book we met through, so this is kind of a romantic book for me.
Very
Because this is how I met you, Marion.
All right.
On this book, so this is an important
And I
one.
remember your beautiful book, too.
Yes, well, that was
That's
way
right.
back, too, right?
That's way back.
Now, here's the other
I
one,
love
Poetry
this
of Dogs.
one.
Yes.
Which is another
That
one
was written
different.
simultaneously with the first cookbook menu log. That was just a kidding around book for my daughter-in-law because we have Labradors. They'll be coming soon to visit me on holiday time. And I wrote it for them and any
that's
other of
sweet.
the animals.
Now,
and
Mary,
that's
let's-
dedicated to the Guide Dog Foundation.
Oh, Guide Dog
Brookline,
Foundation.
by the way.
Now, let's be honest, Marion. If you decided to, you know what, I'm going to retire and, I'll be a grandmother and I'll love my grandkids and, and kind of watch television or whatever, nobody could blame you. But instead, you're constantly in production, you're putting together books.
Well, this is how I love my family. By doing this, because it's for them that I am doing it. We had, I was speaking to Karen before, we had a cousins reunion just a few weeks ago. And we've had the second one in a row, and just a year apart because of me. I've gathered the family together again, 65 to 85. I've gotten cousins
So
I hadn't seen
important.
for 30 years. And we all bring something.
Yeah.
All right? And it's wonderful. It's in Hopewell, New Jersey, the farm.
Wow.
Picture of the farm is in my last book. That's a real family book. I have
Wow.
recipes in there that go back to the early 1900s.
Isn't that
I have
great?
a photo of my uncle, who was a priest,
Isn't that
with
great?
his hunting gear on, because he used to go and hunt pheasants
Oh, my Lord.
and deer
Really?
and rabbits. And then my Aunt Susie would cook all the fantastic things like coniglio cacciatore.
Oh, sure.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
all
yeah.
right?
Isn't that something? Wow.
It's we had a grand time growing up.
Now, you think
so-
all these recipes, are they all caught up in God somehow here? Because I just get, you get the spirituality of all of this,
Oh, yes. Well, in that book, I have a couple of essays bringing in the Old Testament and the New Testament.
Yeah.
One is from the Moses era,
Oh, yeah, sure.
and one is Christ and the blessing of the loaves and fishes.
Sure, the miracle.
And my last sentence in that one is, and they even had leftovers.
Yeah, right? That's so true, right?
That's right.
That's
Look at this. Now,
great.
it wouldn't be the holidays without this, right?
Oh, honey bows.
Wow, that looks
I
delicious.
love those
We
boys with
made them.
coffee
My
in them.
mother made them every Christmas, and so did I.
So, and again, you're paying homage to your mom by doing this very
Always.
work, right? It's
I have a
absolutely
new
incredible.
cookbook coming out.
I was just going to say, is there anything on the horizon, Miriam?
Yes.
Talk about it.
All are welcome to this table.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
And before you came in, I took a photo with the group around here, around this little table. I'm trying to gather photos of people, groups at table. You don't have to be a formal table. It could be a simple kitchen dining room table. It could be out in the a knoll of grass or whatever. But I even got a food pantry
Wow.
from St. Ignatius. They
Wow.
allowed me to use a photo to push that in. And we're going to show pictures throughout the whole book that all are welcome. And those recipes are really a collection from my mother's and my recipe boxes.
Isn't that great, huh?
I clean them out.
Wow.
And plus, I've been making more as I've been going on. But things like, as you would say, you would love this one, when your mom or grandma used to use a rotary egg beater and a wooden
sure.
spoon.
Yeah, sure.
That's where these recipes come.
Wow,
nice.
isn't that great?
They're that hard. I want to have a retrovalia of the home cook.
Isn't that beautiful?
We have lost the home cook.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
that's so
And
true.
I think we should bring her back or him back.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because home cooking is the way to gather the family.
Sure.
And everybody, not just your family, but the family of friends. And I think it's a marvelous, cooking is a marvelous tool.
Now, the holidays, too, like, do you take care of a lot of that? Or, like,
I
everybody shares
I
around?
don't have it in my home as much as going to my daughter-in-law's sisters, for example, who are wonderful, sharing people. They have a wonderful holiday spirit, and they always include me. And they always say, you don't have to bring all of this, but, you know, I want to.
Sure.
And I know they enjoy it,
I'm
too.
sure they
Sure.
do.
Yes, I bring food.
And is that
Yeah.
where you get some, like, how do you develop some new recipes? Like, talk about some of the things you
I
have here.
think about it and I salivate.
Yeah,
No, truly. I think about what taste I would like to have together. Or you would say in Italian, ovuli.
sure.
And it depends upon the last 9 years since my husband is gone. I open the refrigerator, I open the pantry. What'll I get? You know, put together. Or I've already been thinking of something. Or I read an article.
Sure, and it sticks.
A lot
right?
of, yes. And I say, I think I'll try this. And just last week, for example, I took simple pork tenderloin, pork chops, boneless, and I decided I would slather them with honey and mustard. And then I coated them with cornflake crumbs and little black pepper. And then I sprinkled it with cinnamon and I drizzled orange juice. And baked them, and they're delicious.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Somebody let some air in the studio. I think I'm gonna pass
I
out.
bake my sweet potatoes, which I eat probably 3 or 4 sweet potatoes every week anyhow. And all I did on that was sprinkle some cinnamon and drizzle a little honey, and it tastes a whole
Terrific,
different
right?
world.
Yeah.
that's
Very
exciting.
simple.
But beautiful at
Yeah,
the same
and
time.
I'm not the
you
only
know?
one who's thought of this, believe me.
No, I
But,
understand.
you know,
but
it's
But you're helping everybody else to recall it. And that's
That's
the good
right.
thing, you
Yeah.
know. That's what you do.
Yeah.
If people want to get the book, we talked about it already. You have this website now, this new website. Why
Yeah.
don't you give that?
you go to MarionCooks.com,
Perfect.
MarionCooks.com,
MarionCooks.com.
or Amazon.com, or online at any bookstore. Barnes
that's
and Noble
great.
has been very good to me.
That's terrific.
They're the
So-
ones who started me off.
So you guys who are watching, if you have a parish setting or a parish group, you want Marion to come, get in touch with her. Can you get in touch with Marion Cooks?
Yes.
And she would come around there. And I think you should be doing book signings in Barnes and Noble and stuff, Marion.
Yeah.
I had a book signing with my first book.
That's wonderful. But you're really,
Yeah.
you're awesome. And even the religious bookstores would get something out of this book, you know?
Sure.
Well, my cousin, who has a religious bookstore, shows some of my books.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Good News, by the way. Her store is Good News
Well,
Religious
look at that.
Bookstore.
What an appropriate name for a bookstore. That's perfect.
She was before you.
I hope she doesn't sue me then. We'll see what happens. Marion,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being
Yes,
here.
I
and
thank
for
you
all
for
this
asking
delicious
me,
food.
and God bless you for
Thank you so
beautiful,
much.
beautiful work you do for all of us.
Well, we're glad
it's
to
a
help.
joy to know you.
Well, we're glad to help you in any way we can, Marion. You just call and, we're there for you.
Thank you.
You're wonderful. Boy, oh boy, this is great. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We have a lot more good news right after this. Welcome back, everyone. Boy, Marion's great, isn't
Oh,
she?
I love her.
gotta love her.
I do. I
You
really
gotta
do.
love her.
She's great.
And great books, too, I tell you, really honestly.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, they're very interesting. All right, but we had an opportunity to be part of a blessing of a new hospital within Catholic Health Services. We talked about it earlier. St. Joseph's Hospital in Bethpage is an amazing facility, and through its membership now in CHS, we can expand the comprehensive inpatient and outpatient medical, critical care, and even the surgical services upon which the residents of Nassau and Suffolk County here on Long Island rely. Let's take a look at our visit.
I need to say, first of all, a real deep word of gratitude to all of you. The spirit that has been evidenced by everyone from all the reports I've received is a spirit here in this hospital that I've personally encountered on the times when I've been to visit someone who was sick here. One of the jobs of a bishop is to go to hospitals. And one bishop friend of mine said, if I just visited the sick and comforted those who had lost a dear one, I think I could be a great success as a bishop. And I think you'd agree with us that those are two of the most important things that we try to do. And so coming to a hospital is very much in the heart of every bishop and every priest, because we want to bring to people the Word of God and God's love for every human being.
We've all been working toward this day for 9 months when the former New Island Hospital came into Catholic Health Services of Long Island. And I gathered in this room with many of you to inaugurate that journey together. And in those 9 months, we have become St. Joseph's Hospital. The Church has given this hospital one of our very best saints. And I know that you will live up to those high hopes and the ideals set by St. Joseph. The sisters were kind enough to provide us with some statues of St. Joseph and some stained glass from one of their facilities in Brooklyn.
The Sisters of St. Joseph have in past sponsored and owned hospitals, but now we don't, even though we are in many areas of healthcare. And we think that naming the hospital after Joseph was such a wonderful idea. One of the lines in Scripture reads something like, Joseph, not wishing to disgrace Mary, protected her. And that's really what we believe our Catholic hospitals are about and what God's justice is about, that we not disgrace or disrespect anybody. And we really believe that that's what St. Joseph's Hospital will be. So we bless it today, and we promise Bishop Murphy our prayerful support.
St. Joseph's Hospital is now a very proud member of the Catholic Health Services of Long Island. We are still providing tremendous care for the community, and now we're doing it with additional expertise and resources as part of a larger system. The hospital is formerly known as New Island Hospital and has had a tremendous turnaround in the last number of years. The hospital provides some of the finest care in the community. It's the last remaining community hospital in this entire area of Long Island, in the eastern part of Nassau and in the westernmost part of Suffolk. And we're very proud to be the community hospital for our patients. We actually have the lowest, that's the best mortality rates in all of the hospitals on Long Island. And when patients come here, they can feel comfortable and reassured that they're going to get great care in their community with people who live in the community, who work in the community, who will provide them with a compassionate care and with resources now. They have the newest equipment here. We have unbelievable staff, dedicated nurses and physicians who are interested in providing compassionate care in a friendly environment with the highest technology. So patients in our community can feel very comfortable. Heaven forbid they do need to be taken to an emergency department. They'll get great care at St. Joseph Hospital.
As the bishop blesses the building today, he blesses more than a building. There would not be a building if it wasn't for our patients, if it wasn't for you people who minister in so very, very many different ways here at St. Joseph's. So I ask you today, as the bishop goes around and you receive the blessings also of the day, no matter what your persuasion is, to think of Joseph and think of a very just, calm, conscientious caregiver, because that's what I truly believe we are all called to do in the various ways that we do it.
And so with that in my mind, with great gratitude to all of you, with great hopes for the future, I see this is a day in which we bless not just buildings and rooms and places and clinics and the like. We bless each and every one of you, because together we're going to offer to this community and so many of these villages and towns that surround us here in Bethpage, to offer to this community health care with a heart, health care with a spirit, health care with hope that always respects the dignity of every human being.
We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. More good news right after this. I guess at least once a week I'm led to a hospital bedside to give somebody an anointing or a blessing or to bring communion to someone who is sick. And every time I'm in one of our hospitals, it's such a wonderful experience. As I walk down the hallway, and this happens just about every time, people will call me into their room, you know, to offer a prayer or something. And that happens to pretty much every priest when we go to a hospital, because when we're sick, we really want to be close to God. Not because we just want to get well, but it's in suffering sometimes that we become very close to our Lord. And there's something beautiful about that we shouldn't feel guilty of, even if you're watching right now in a hospital room, you know. We shouldn't feel guilty about feeling the need to have God in our lives when we're sick. Say, well, I wasn't there when things were great, you know, but now when things are not so great, I'm there. I'm calling on God. Well, that's part of our relationship with God, that God is always near, but it's about kind of tapping into that presence, particularly when things are very, very difficult, when things are hard in our lives. And so we should never feel guilty about calling upon the name of the Lord, particularly when the bottom falls out in some way or another. And what a great gift it is as a priest to be able to bring the Lord to people in their sickness, in their brokenness. A very, very beautiful thing. And I think something that we're all called to is to take care of those who are sick, those who are needy, those who are sort of alone and convalescing at home. There's something very important about that. Our church is filled with people who do that all the time. People in chaplaincy, people who bring communion to the sick. All of those things are such an important part of the life of the church and about being tuned into that. So even when you visit in a hospital, to recognize that you carry that presence of God with you, it's kind of a nice thing.
I never thought about what it must be like to be a priest walking through a hospital.
Oh, and I tell you the truth, I almost said it's fun, but it sort of is fun.
Yeah,
because you meet a
right.
lot of people. Just last week, I was over at one of ours, at Good Samaritan Hospital, and I must have seen 10 people.
It's really nice.
And it's a lot of fun. And so many people who comment and watch our show. And
Yeah, and what a gift you can bring to them, too, that gift of comfort and prayer.
consolation and some healing,
Yeah.
too, you know?
That's great. Never thought of that.
They even like you when I go. They'll say, who's that woman with you? She's wonderful. And I say, she's not that wonderful. Well, just say,
Stop it.
well, I hope you enjoyed the show today. Marion was great. We had a good time,
Always,
right?
yes.
A lot of fun. So remember, whatever you do this week,
Keep on spreading the good news.
have a great weekend.